Bodo Discussion on Get Out. So, like, Get Out is the directorial debut of Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
No.
Really, guys?
Send me a bite of that Hey. Oh, we're gonna get a sandwich up in here.
I thought we were doing a review, not a food channel. Yeah, this is the latest Mitchell Bodo Discussion food review. We're gonna give a Pagelli sandwich a buy out of 10. Okay, can we get back to what we came here for?
Yeah, Get Out is the latest horror movie from Jordan Peele. Basically about a black man, an African American, who goes to meet his parents for the first time. They live at this really weird farmhouse.
His girlfriend's parents, mind you.
What did I say? His girlfriend's parents, yeah. And they go up to their whatever. They go to their house and whatnot, and it's basically like it's creepy. It's a creepy vibe, and then horror stuff ensues. And this is honestly definitely one of the better horror movies I've seen in a little while. It's definitely one of the better movies of the year so far.
Yeah. In fact, admittedly, I don't think it's. Well, I wouldn't put it at the 100% level acclaim that Rotten Tomatoes is giving it.
It's just Rotten Tomatoes.
I still think it's definitely one of the best films of the year, and probably, arguably, the best horror film that's come out this decade. Most because, even though its story is incredibly simple, it's surprisingly thought-provoking beneath the surface. Because the whole heart behind Get Out is that it's essentially a commentary on racism from the point of view of liberals.
Yeah, it's kind of showing less showing kind of overt racism, more kind of hidden. It's not necessarily hidden during certain scenes.
Pretty
they kind of
obvious
play it up for comedy.
People.
When the old guy's like, black is in fashion, or if they're talking about it's pretty funny.
It's not like that they're being it's it's that they're being so weird all the time. There's is that one lady just talking is it better? Just looking at it, feeling it. Was like, what the fuck?
There's definitely a bunch of scenes where they kind of show sort of some of the racism people have. A couple good moments of that is with the stuff with his brother. He was really good. All the performances I thought were nobody was out of place. Everybody was good in the movie. I think the best thing I'd say about this movie is the direction Jordan Peele brought to the movie. I thought he definitely gave this movie its own style, and it just it's definitely one of the better horror movies. I don't have a lot of flaws with it. I think I'd say there was one or two jump scares that were in the movie for no reason. There's a part in the movie where Daniel Kaluuya, Chris, is walking around in the middle of the night, and then the spoiler, the grandma comes walking in the background.
The maid or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking spoilers. The maid is in the background, and she walks by.
Really, I thought that was good.
And but there was a jump scare. There was nothing.
It's just kind of your run-of-the-mill jump scare.
Yeah, and there was nothing there is nothing loud about that. You know what I mean? There was nothing actually loud about it. It could have just been creepy that she walked by, and then they just put a loud noise to startle you because it's a horror.
I feel like it could be more effective if they kind of if she just walked by, but there was no sound whatsoever.
Yeah, it could have been just as good. They literally wanted to add a jump scare, and it's not a huge problem.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's not obnoxious because
it was kind of obnoxious, but
okay,
it's not a huge issue.
It's not a huge issue, but going back to what I was saying, for me, probably since Mitchell just mentioned the grandma, let's talk about the big plot twist. The whole reason to why the villains are basically kind of kidnapping black people and abducting them is so they can transfer their consciousness to their body to other people, so they can have a longer lifespan.
Yeah. I think that was it was pretty interesting how they viewed it. They almost said oh no, we're not racist, even though it's kind of showing kind of almost hidden racism or just kind of not overt racism. It was really interesting how they did that. I really liked just the way the kind of darker scenes were everything when maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie is when Chris meets with the mother, and she takes him to the sunken place. And I really like the way that their kind of dialogue would go back and forth, and then you kind of really get this focus on the image of the cup being the spoon stirring up that cup, which was really I just like the way the back and forth they had. I like the score. I like the tone of the movie. I just yeah, I really like this movie. It's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. Probably a really good movie. Into spoiler stuff. What's some spoiler stuff we can talk about?
We could definitely the twist. Obviously, it was a really different. Like, it wasn't how you assumed it. Like the title was sort of. I mean, not really. The thing, it was different. Like they said, like the title's Get Out, and you'd assume it's just like, all the white people want him to leave because they're racist. But really, it was that he shouldn't he needed to get out because they were literally like. And of course, they were like trying to screw him over. Like they needed him there to like take his body and use it. It was so like it was out of nowhere and like different. And it was like the twist that the girl was there, and then like how she acted after that. Like the conversation with his friend, where she's just like. She's like, oh, what cab company did you use? And starts going with all these questions. Like, we all know it's about you trying to fuck me.
Speaking of the
humor,
the humor in this movie was done very well. I thought it was a good reflection of what was going on in the movie, because you can get kind of annoyed and kind of roll your eyes with like the comedy relief in horror movies, but it was important that he was always joking about what was going on in the movie. You know, the more Chris got skeptical and scared about what was going on, the more the TSA guy or whatever. The more, honestly, as goofy as it was, the more he kind of got into it. And to go into just before I forget, one more, maybe the biggest flaw I had with the movie is when the TSA guy goes to the police officers and explains the situation. They play it up for laughs, which is basically the way that they explain that, cops aren't breaking down this marriage. But all that had to happen is Chris had a picture of a missing person, okay? And if you go on the internet, you go on Facebook, whatever, you can't find this picture of this guy who has been missing for months at all. This picture is only being delivered there. So all the TSA guy had to do was say, hey, look, my friend's been missing for a couple days, and he saw a picture of this guy who's also missing. If you didn't go in there yelling about sex slaves, blah, 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 then the cops would have believed him and they would have done that. But
he's not that smart. He just
but the TSA shit was saying sex slaves. Okay, yeah, so but it was very obviously he just had to. If he talked about the situation seriously, then the cops would have taken him seriously.
Yeah, I feel like
that's ultimately what would have happened, but they didn't.
And I don't know, it kind of took me out of the movie. He would have noticed.
It took me out of the movie because they were very clearly trying to make it, even though they did it in a humorous way, which is what Jordan Peele's good at. They're clearly trying to explain, trying to come up with an excuse for why the police didn't get involved or anything.
And also another thing I will say is that for me that the comic relief in this film is that unlike say other comic relief in movies that unfortunately feel annoying and distracting from the movie, this guy didn't, because he actually kind of plays a part in the story and is arguably the real protagonist of Get Out.
Well, I think Chris is the protagonist. I think he does a really great job, especially on that one scene you were talking about with the mom's talking to him. And he goes through when his mom died and how he didn't do anything to make it real. He just kind of got stuck in. And that's great, because a lot of times they'll do hypnotism in movies and it just doesn't come off as real. They're just sort of it was connected to a personal thing to him, so that it actually showed you. And the way they showed the sunken place, it just looked like the worst possible thing ever.
It was
it just really made you it brought up the tension so much more, because it wasn't like they were just trying to kill him. They were trying to make his life.
People are trying to. One way people have looked at this movie, which I guess I agree with to an extent, is that they're talking about the sunken place as kind of an allegory for racial oppression. How through these smaller different ways that they're being treated in society and blah blah, they're being brought down into this sunken place. That it's kind of like a metaphor for for certain things going on in this movie. I thought that was kind of interesting. I liked how they used a horror movie to express stuff about. Racial prejudice that's still going on. A lot of people talk about how this movie takes place in what a lot of people would consider a post-racial America with Obama, and how this movie's trying to show how that isn't the case. And since we're getting into that, we might as well get into the fact that there is an alternate ending.
Yeah, the alternate ending is much darker.
Is
that
where
the police Rose essentially because as we know, one of the main villains of the film, Rose, is a sociopath who essentially manipulates Chris into a false sense of security.
Huge night ride.
But just
like 10, 12 black guys and one girl.
Yeah.
All she what is it called? Honey potted them.
Yeah.
All of them. And
anyway,
and going back to towards the end of the film, a police car shows up. She tries to manipulate whoever's in the car to arrest Chris, but in the original ending, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I understand what you're saying, but in the original, the alternate ending or whatever, that's darker. But if you're a police officer who pulls up on a situation where all you see is, take race out of this, a man choking out a woman and a bunch of dead people lying around, and you go back to a house with a bunch of dead people, I mean, you can explain why, you can clearly see they're doing surgery and stuff like that, but, it's not... If this movie is about showing
the benefit of the doubt,
if the movie is showing the kind of certain racial prejudices that take place in society, I don't think a very good example of that is when a bunch of people are lying dead, and one guy's literally choking someone else on the ground for the police officer to show up and arrest the guy or maybe come after the guy. I don't think. I'm glad the movie ended how it did, because I don't think that would have been an intelligent. Because if I was a police officer who just showed up to that situation, it wouldn't be it very much takes some kind of racial component out of it. It makes this situation. It doesn't. I don't think it would have worked with the ultimate ending. So I thought the right ending was the right ending.
Yeah, I kept thinking that's how the movie's gonna end all throughout the movie. I'm eventually shit's gonna go down, and a cop's gonna show up, and he's gonna get arrested. It's just not gonna go his way, because if he just shows up at the house, kills a lot of people, it wasn't gonna help him. Yeah. He wasn't gonna get that benefit of the doubt.
So actually, sorry.
So that's sort of what I'm saying. But the way that last scene sort of ended, since it all connect back to his character, he's I can't leave because I didn't do anything to help my mom, so I gotta help this person. Then she starts attacking him in the car, so it was really cool with the camera, and the pacing in this movie is really good too. How they sort of built up to how at first it was just a couple of weird things, her brother, that great scene when he's just talking about if you just refine your body and shit, you'll see because it just creeped in and just kind of slowly
I'd
built.
say my favorite thing about this movie, the first maybe half hour, everything, the slow build of the movie, from the slow build kind of from starting with Chris kind of saying, look, I'm kind of nervous to meeting your parents, to the guy asking for his identification, the police officer asking for Chris's identification, to kind of the more weird stuff that the brother was saying, to then the kind of overtly strange stuff that the rest of the guests were saying, to finally the twist. I liked how it was a very gradual build-up. I thought it was good screenwriting, and I liked that.
And one last thing I wanted to say, and going back to I will say this, is that while the alternate ending is an interesting idea, albeit doesn't make sense, I do think that the ending where Rose attempts to prey on Chris's insecurities one last time, only for Ron, the comic relief, to come in and save the day at the end, is a much more fulfilling conclusion, because it makes more sense in the context of the film. It's not
even that they couldn't have ended the movie with a cop showing up. It's just if everything was about kind of certain smaller racism, I don't think that would have been a great. I don't think that would have been. I don't think that would have been a great way to end the movie. I don't think that would have kind of been indicative of certain kind of racial inequalities that's happening when they created a situation where any right-minded cop would have gone after Chris. So I think
but he could have said we'll go to this house, and he isn't going to get the benefit of the
basically
doubt,
the movie would have ended the same way with.
It would have burnt down. Oh, okay. It really would have been sweet.
Yeah, it would have ended with the same couple shots. It would have ended with the policemen showing up, except Chris getting arrested or getting shot or whatever, and then Chris in the back of that cab, and that would have been the end. That's the only difference we would have had. So we wouldn't have known anything else. We would have assumed, he's screwed. And I like the ending we had. I guess we spent a lot of time talking about an ending that didn't even make it into the movie. So I guess we can get into kind of final.
Let's talk about
final thought.
Want to go
thoughts.
first, Mitchell?
Okay, so I'll say I thought it was a really entertaining horror movie. I thought it was actually my favorite movie of the year so far. I really liked a lot of stuff. I thought just kind of they threw in a couple of jump scares that were they just really didn't entirely need to be there, but it was still done really. This horror scenes were still done well, and I think I just didn't. They were very clearly trying to explain away certain plot holes of why other things didn't happen, and it was very like obvious with the where the TSA guy goes to see the police officers and they laugh him away. But other than that, this was a really well written, fun horror movie. I thought the tone was very well done. I thought Jordan Peele made a very good movie. You know, with these Blumhouse horror movies, you don't really know which way they're gonna go. This guy just funds everything. But between this and Split, both very good. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Sorry to take too much of everybody's final thought.
What about you, Brock?
Okay, so yeah, I think it's great, really well shot, well paced. The acting across like every single person in this movie did an amazing job with their own role. None of the kind of family members sort of like kind of just seemed like the same character. They're all like kind of a different type of almost like not racism, but like evil. And so that was really great. There was like it was amazingly well shot. The house looked great. It looked like, especially the basement, looked really creepy when the TV turns on. The old guy's telling him like, you're gonna go through your weird brain.
Not to cut off your final thought, but I thought it was interesting all the kind of the imagery of a lot of the kind of imagery they included in the movie too, just with like him killing the one guy with the deer or like a bocce ball, the kind of symbolism you can take out of it. Like anyway, sorry, that's it.
Yeah, I understand. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely, it's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. I'm trying to think of the most recent one that's even close to this is like Insidious, but I like this way more than Insidious. Really well shot, especially like that one part where he's like the guy sprinting out and all you see is just him going through. It's so just, it's just a part of that pacing.
You can't keep doing this when you say it's final
really well.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm gonna say it's a 9, and it's
that's a high 9. But anyway,
it's a really good one and definitely a classic.
So yeah, Get Out is definitely probably one of the best films I've seen all year. I loved a lot of the social commentary, how it explored racism in a more subtle way rather than just being overt about it. I loved a lot of the humor. It had some great moments of tension. The Rose and her family were some legitimately threatening antagonists, and the twist is a brilliant subversion of racism. That's why I'm going to give Get Out a 9 out of 10.
All right. We all really like this movie, so check out Get Out. You probably already have. We're going to be seeing Wonder Woman maybe today.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, this movie we'll probably have already seen it before this video comes out. So
hopefully, we'll have a better chance to review than Suicide Squad, which was so bad we couldn't even review.
I liked Suicide Squad. I get it; it's not all that good, but I liked it.
This could be a whole other 20 minutes, so we're not going to get into it.
No.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.